On this week's episode of the Dead and Dusty Dad podcast, I'll be talking about my top 10 favorite games. I spent the last 15 minutes or so going over how should I organize them because they're not super in a ranking system besides the top 2 slots. So the rest of them were mostly like, well, this game's instrumental in the entire genre of it. This game's got significant character stuff in it. This one's just fantastic. Things like that. I have roughly ordered them in the order of the likelihood they'll stop being my favorite games, potentially. So I think that's a good way to go over them. However, even that's sort of like, I don't see several of these games ever leaving the top 10. I only see 3 of them potentially doing so. Without further ado, I guess it is time for me to begin with number 1, which is Saints Row 2. My experience with the Saints Row series. Let's begin with how I grew up on GTA games, right? I grew up playing. I want to say I played Vice City first, and then San Andreas came out. I played that, went back to play 3, and then eventually I think they got a 3 pack of 3 Vice City and then San Andreas, and that was Wonder on the PS2. I even played Vice City Stories and Liberty City Stories, and then, GTA 4 and 5. I played a little bit of Chinatown Wars, so it gives you an idea of, like, the GTA series is one of my favorite series. But it might surprise you that none of the GTA games are in my top 10. I would say that that's because another thing with the top 10 and why some of these games are potentially going to drop, including Saints Row 2. Saints Row 2 is the most likely to drop out of my top 10 because if I think about a game and I'm like, oh, I gotta deal with old mechanics, or it just doesn't feel good, or it's just like I'm dreading parts of it, those are the sorts of things that make me just not wanna, I just don't wanna deal with that. So with Saints Row 2, I got it on Game. I want to say that was the game that I got on GameFly, and I in fact got it like a day or two early, and it was magnificent. I remember playing through Saints Row 2 50. Oh, I'm getting old. 15 years ago now. I was a bright, young 16-ish year. I think it came out in 2000. No, wasn't it 2009 or so? So I was 15 or so. The energy of Saints Row 2 is hard to capture. GTA, it's not dissimilar to GTA in that it's typically scathing criticisms of America, but it's more cartoonish, right? The character creation is fantastic in 2. The general plot is pretty great. It gives more to it than Saints Row 1 had. I didn't play Saints Row 1 first because I don't believe at the time I had a 360. So I just had to go off of what I read about Saints Row 1. And Saints Row 2 is a great reaction to the downsides of GTA 4. GTA 4 is fantastic, right? The story is phenomenal. Some of the gameplay is pretty jank now. I may be on par with Saints Row 2's. The driving isn't awful. The gunplay is better. Saints Row 2, I guess Saints Row 2 and GTA 4 both have issues with driving. In that Saints Row 2 has more arcadey feel that I'm not used to anymore. GTA 4 is too weighty. Overall, I tried playing Saints Row 2 on the computer, and between the controls being a bit wonky, I guess I could have messed around with them. Between that and the fact that the game crashed like 3 times, I couldn't finish the. I don't believe I could finish the quest to bring Johnny back from the courthouse. That's the one that kept crashing on me, and I was like, man, this is like the second or third quest. I can't. Mission, rather, I guess. If you're in fantasy or whatever, it's a quest. If you're in modern time, it's a mission. So I would say that Saints Row 2 might drop off my top 10. I'd have to find another game that I care more about. That's kind of how it works, right? If I find a game that I'm like, yeah, I give more of a shit about it than Saints Row, like the Saints Row 2 or whatever. Saints Row 2 gets dropped and the other game gets put in, right? That's just how it works. That's how Mafia works. Yeah, as the kids say. So I think that's enough rambling on about Saints Row 2. Let's head on to the next one, which is Borderlands 1. Less likely to drop. I played through it a bit with one of my roommates earlier this year. I want to say, yeah, some of it. I prefer 1 because I don't like being shouted at by NPCs constantly. Borderlands 2 has some good world development sort of stuff, like the world has more to show you. But the thing is, right? I love the dusty shit. I love the Mad Max stuff. I love the dry dark humor. I don't like being memed at like it's 2010 or 2012 whenever I think it was 12 cuz wasn't Borderlands 1 also like 2009 or 10. So yeah, like 2012 was when Borderlands 2 came out. And it's wild that every game since then has had a significant amount of people not too happy with the releases. Like the pre-sequel, people don't like the anti-gravity stuff or having to breathe air, as well as other issues. I was playing pre-sequel a little bit myself recently, and in it, I was like, man, this game is a bit glitchy. Like pickups sometimes won't work right. I wonder if it's because of the effects of less gravity and all that on them, because they would just besides just floating away, sometimes they would just like not exist really. I don't know how to describe it. And then 3, the story issues with that one people don't really like. I didn't even finish it. I wasn't compelled to, between depression and just like, man, I've finished maybe like 10 besides well no, maybe even including the games that no, because I've been doing this for a bit on the channel. So, let's say 8 games. 8 games besides the ones in the channel I've completed since like 2015. Yeah, depression's a hell of a bitch, isn't it? But yeah, Borderlands 1, I love the weapon systems. I love the dry humor. I love. Listen, man, I get it. It's brown. But brown's pretty cool. You know what else is brown? Most American food. And I love me some fried food. Some comfort food. It's a comfort game. I like shooting. I love revolvers. Everything's a revolver basically in that game. Even some of the snipers are revolvers. Um, I played as Mordecai. I loved my little Bloodwing bird. I want to say that's their name. I want to say they were a boy in the first game and then a girl in the second one because of the way they biologically work. They retconned it. I found it funny that oh hell, I'd have to look into it again, but I think that the characters I played from 1 and 2 both ended up sleeping with Moxie at some point. I I didn't finish 3. Did I and I haven't played 4. Did Flint or whatever what the hell is his name? Zane. Did Zane end up being with Moxie? I think he's got some other ex-girlfriend. Anyway, I just find it funny. Also, Mordecai ended up in this alcoholic. That's a classic gamer move right there. The next game on the list. Oh, actually no. One of my favorite artists, Keith Thompson, he did the Iridian weapon designs in the game, and I believe also the Iridians themselves, the little floating robot dudes. So that's pretty neat. On to the next one though. Mass Effect 2 might drop off. I plan on playing it on the I'm gonna I might play Saints Row 2 and maybe 3 and 4 on the channel eventually. Those are like strong maybes. Borderlands I plan on going through the Borderlands series eventually as well. My old man, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm just remembering things. They're all coming. Oh, they're coming back to me. My old man actually, because he had a newspaper out, so we had to go get newspapers at like midnight. He went to the midnight launch of Borderlands 2 to get me the game, and that was pretty sweet of him. My memory of that was him being like, "Yeah, some guy was talking about like hacking the game and stuff, and I know you don't like hackers." I'm like, "You're right, old man. I don't like when people hack in the games." Though it's like, it's different if it's a single player game where you're like duping weapons, but like I'm not into that kind of stuff. Finally, on to the next one. Before I remember more things. Mass Effect 2. I'm gonna be playing through the trilogy eventually. Not next year, maybe next year. So maybe like 2027. I might play 3 of them. I'd play them likely how I'm handling Yakuza. So like every 4 months roughly. So it's like it'll be Mass Effect, a small game, some big game that isn't Mass Effect, a small game, and then Mass Effect again. And so over the course of like 2027, I'll clear it most likely, right? Depends on what month it starts. I also like to do seasonal stuff, like for the spooky game season of Spooktober. I'll probably be doing. I might do Bloodlines 2 next year. It sounds kind of dog shit from all the reviews I'm hearing. The Alan Wake games and all that, Control, all that stuff is also on the docket. But Mass Effect 2 is I find out that I really like sequels. The second game in a series I love a lot, especially ones that have like an orange feel to them, right? That's kind of hard to describe. But a lot of the coloration of 2 was more warm colors compared to the cool colors of 1, which were like blue and uh white and such things. And I believe they make a joke about it in 3 where they're like, yeah, uh the Normandy wasn't really well lit in 2. Or was it 3 where cuz it's under. No, I think 2 is the one where it's like not well lit. I can't remember. But yeah, Mass Effect 2. Some of my favorite companion interaction. The entire game's like it's all about getting your companions together. And I love companions. I'm gonna analyze the shit out of those fuckers. I'm gonna analyze the hell out of them. So many daddy and mommy issues. So many issues in general. My boy, my child, Grunt is in there. You build up your ship, you invest in it, you go around space copping it around, kinda. There's some good DLC stuff with like Liara. It's gonna be good fun. I don't have. I guess. I guess I'll go over some characters that were highlights. I mean, Garrus is back again as a rogue ass cowboy. Yeehaw! Gets half his face blown up. Uh, Tally, she's back. She's got daddy issues. Who doesn't love that? Miranda is pretty attractive and has issues. She has a sister she has to help out. Jack is angry all the fucking time and has cool ass tattoos and significant childhood trauma. I don't have the tattoos and I don't shout. I mean, I shout a lot, but I don't shout as much as Jack. I also write poetry sometimes, like Jack. Ooh, little spoilers. Grunt, my child, my young worm, my young ramen hating child. The one dying bitch, Thane, I think his name. I was thinking about him earlier. I was like, oh fuck, it's so his stuff gets sad if you date him. I plan on doing a romance episode for this podcast for Pansexual Awareness Day or whatever, just like Pansexual Day. I think it's in December. It's gonna be great. There's so many I can do that for like Valentine's Day too, right? It's wonderful. I'm trying to think of like other Kasumi, Zaid, Jacob, who I don't give too much of a fuck about. I give more of a shit about Kasumi or whatever her name is than I do Jacob. And then Zaid is just kind of there. I can't remember anybody else on the crew in terms of squad mates. That might be all. No, Legion. You get him later though. He's cool. I love Legion. But yeah, I think that's about it for Mass Effect 2. I'll have to play through it and decide if it's gonna be knocked off. But then again, that would require me to have two other games and then a third game try and enter my list. Unlikely. The fourth in the list, and this is where we're getting into games where it's like it's probably never gonna be taken off the list. And this is a hallmark for a genre, and it's just beautiful in its simplicity. And it might sound like a joke answer, but Minecraft is one of the best made games in history. It's, I would say it's up there with Tetris in terms of just its simplistic design. It understands what it's intended to do, and it's just generally fun to play. I will sit, if I'm just kind of like melancholic, which is an energy I would say Minecraft has for it. Mortismal gaming, so that he doesn't like playing it by himself all that much because he gets lonely, and I get that. There's a certain existential dread to playing Minecraft, especially with some of the tracks. They're hauntingly beautiful, but that's the thing, right? They're beautiful to me, but I do get it. I get it's almost a small existential crisis where it's like nothing you do actually matters, and that's one of the reasons why I don't play it more consistently. I'll play it for like 20 hours over the course of like a week or two, and then I'll be like, well, that's enough. I never really get to the point where I kill the Ender Dragon. I just like building up a small base and be like, yeah, it's nice. It's a nice house. It's a nice hovel underground. It's a nice dwarven house or whatever. Nice tree house if I'm feeling a little vertical. There are funny stories I can tell about Minecraft. It took me so long to get into it. It was like a decade. It was like 2014, 2015 before I finally got into it. And it's because there's so many dumb white boys that I know who can't properly explain things. Chief among them, Minecraft. The first one was one of my cousins, a dipshit. He's the kind of guy that owes somebody I know cigarettes, and also he LARPs in a trench coat in the middle of summer. And he was trained to be he's trained in piano. He's from a wealthier part of the family. He's just an ass. He's just a cunt in general. I don't like him. He's a sack of shit. Anyway, he couldn't explain what Minecraft was back in the, it was 2010 or whatever. He was playing on a computer, and I assume he was doing like some kind of a challenge map or whatever. And I was like, "Hey, what's this about?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm just going and there's bricks, and if I get the wrong brick, I lose." And I was like, "Okay." Flash forward to like whenever it's on the 360 and it was out for a year or two. I had another friend, or rather, I had a friend. My cousin, this one cousin I'm talking about, not a friend, but this friend I have who's like a little cousin to me in a way. I've known him since he was like 5. Our parents were friends. He and his brother's girlfriend had a world together, and they were playing on. It was like 360, so it was a singular map, and they were on this little island, and they built a glass house together, and they were just like dicking around in the glass house, and I was like, is this like all what the game is? And my friend turned to me, and like no thoughts went through his brain as he said the words, "Yeah, this is all the game is." And so I was like, why the fuck would anybody play this? And so it was another like 3 years or so until I finally was like, oh, this game is dope. It's like Legos, but in 3 dimensions in a video game. That implies that Lego isn't in 3 dimensions and also isn't in video games. But it's kind of the creativity of I tried to get my old man to get into it. And it was in fact on my gaming list back when I was planning on doing streams. I might still do it for the sake of like I could see myself doing little casual just chatting streams where I'm also just playing Minecraft for the sake of it, right? I could see myself totally doing that. But Minecraft will never leave my list, even if the next game on the list there's a potential for it to be taken, but I would have to there'd have to be some really great games that I play to overtake this next game. But even Minecraft won't leave by sheer virtue of it being a near perfect game. Like, sure, there's stuff I wish it would have, but in terms of just sheer functionality, what it is, I love it. I genuinely just love Minecraft. It's just fantastic. The next game, as mentioned, is Dragon Age 2. Now you might be wondering, isn't that the worst game in the series? Before the release of Veilguard? Because some people will say that repeating areas over and over again, slightly changing them because you had, what, like 2 years of game development, is bad. But here's what I love about video games. I love disastrous bisexuals and shit like that. And it's also a very orangey game. It's the sequel to a game, uh, Dragon Age Origins, already a very warm game, a lot of red, a lot of blood. Dragon Age 2, also a very warm game. There's family issues, there's a debt. You start out with a dead dad, that's a classic. I can relate so hard. And then also you have like I don't want to spoil things, but things don't go too well for your old Hawk's family. You might be wondering, why are so many games from like 2010 or so? Yeah, I listen. 2010 was a formative. It's also just a year with a lot of great games. Like I don't know what to tell you. But in Dragon Age 2, I want to say that's the game that got me into Dragon Age, right? I tried playing Dragon Age 1. I was either like too young to I was like 16 or whatever. And I was playing New Vegas that same year. I think it's just I didn't like the way it controls, right? It's sort of like a tactical sort of game. Not quite isometric, not quite turn-based, but you could like give out orders and stuff. I also started with the Dalish elf start for not Massive Dragon Age 1, which some consider to be one of the weakest starts you can in the entire game. But Dragon Age 2 got me into the series, which is funny because it was coming out like just before Skyrim or something. I was telling my friends, don't get Dragon Age 2. Wait for Skyrim to come out. You can only play as a human in Dragon Age 2. Now, a little spoiler alert for Skyrim. It's not on this list. It's not in my top 10. In fact, none of you know what? Morrowind might break into here, but that's only by sheer virtue of fans pushing it to be a better game. I love Oblivion as well. Skyrim's for what it is, it's good, right? But it's not in my top 10. When when I play Morrowind, I also want to play it modded. I don't want to play vanilla fucking Morrowind. That's fucking cock and ball torture. Fucking walking so slow. And that's the listen. I can't get stuck on Morrowind. I can't talk about Morrowind for 5 fucking minutes. I gotta talk about Dragon Age 2 for like 5 fucking minutes. The character writing, it's a city campaign. I love the idea of city campaigns. I grew up playing GTA games. I love cities. And the fact that it's just a total shithole. I'm from Michigan, right? I live in a rural shithole, and we're a host to Detroit, which is an urban shithole. Isn't it like one of the top 10 worst cities in the country? Phenomenal. I heard that we were being out by like New Orleans in terms of murders, and I was like, man, can't even win that. Hawk's journey through 2, and I love the fact that Hawk gets to be in Inquisition, is one that delves into family issues that not a lot of games talk about. They don't allow you to have families. I've made jokes before that there's a parent tax in Starfield in order to have living parents as an RPG protagonist. And man, if that isn't fucking true. There's not much really else I can say about Dragon Age 2. I adore its character writing. Varric is a great friend. Uh, Bethany is a good sister. Carver's an asshole. Isabella is sexually attractive, but also a cunt. Fenris is a twink, edgy boy with a pretty cool voice actor. The elf girl, Meryl, that's it. Meryl is adorable, but also fiddling with things she shouldn't fiddle with. Anders is a return from Dragon Age Origins. Didn't know that at the time. He might have been my. Yeah, I romanced him, and then you know what happens with Anders. I chose the hard choice with what to do with my boy. Let's see, what else? Who else is there? There's the DLC guy that forces heterosexuality upon you, and he's an asshole. Uh, who else is there? Evelyn. Yeah. Evelyn. One of my favorite scenes in gaming is from Evelyn. I can't explain it without spoiling Dragon Age 2. You know what? I can't remember any other companions. Skip to the next section. This should have chapters. Skip to the next section if you don't want some severe Dragon Age 2 spoilers. When your mom dies in Dragon Age 2, she helps you go through the grieving process by telling you a story about when she was a little girl, her dad would read books with her, but he wouldn't turn the page until she was ready and chose to turn the page. And then when he was old and infirm, he would have her read books to him, and he still wouldn't turn the page, and she couldn't tell if it was because he was too sick or if he was just doing as he did back when she was a little girl. And there's this beautiful line about how you nobody else can tell you when to stop grieving or how to grieve. You have to be the one that has to move forward. And it's just such a beautiful moment. I'm going to include the entire fucking thing when I do my analysis video. Evelyn is just such a cool lady, but she's also a fucking cop. And you know what they say about cops? Fucking uh what is it, 1312 AC a yeah, fuck the police. Unfortunately, you can't. She gets Donick or whatever his name is. And then, as Isabella says, I think she needs to stick her thumb up his ass or his thumb up her ass. They need to fuck each other's assholes. It's very romantic. Next game, Yakuza 0. I struggled with this one the longest on where to put it in the list. It's not groundbreaking in terms of character development for me myself, but it was a game that helped re-inspire me to love games again. And then I went through Kiwami 1, and before I could finish Kiwami 2, I think my old man and I stopped talking or something like that. Bad emotional things were happening, not great things. Yakuza 0 is just it's so beautiful, I cannot put it into human words in just 5 minutes or so. I'll try to, though. It is a serious crime drama, like the best of the GTA series. It is a goofy fuck thing with little side stories, like the best of the GTA games. It has a lot of side activities, like the best of the GTA games, but it also has Japanese tourism tied in with all of that. But the GTA games don't have that. But the thing about the Yakuza games, you're playing the crime dad. You're playing one of the dopest protagonists ever. Kiryu has so much fucking autism in his body, I don't know what to do with him. And I'm playing through these games. There's like 14 of these fuckers. By the time I'm done with all 14 of them, you know what's gonna happen? There's gonna be like 3 more games I gotta get through. There's gonna be 17 games. I hope the math adds up. I'm starting to get winded already. This is not good. Dragon. Not Dragon Age 2. Yakuza 0. Also, a very orange red sort of game. I don't know how to describe it. There's little car racing. I love that. The Hostess Club stuff, I dig it. It's great. Real estate management, not so much. Great villain writing, great character writing, familial issues with the real estate guy and his sister. Can't think of their names right now. Nishiki is your blood brother, and he aims a gun at you at some point. That's pretty dope. Pretty cool. Cool gamer move to pull a gun out on your orphan brother. Man, there's not much else I can really say about Yakuza 0. that I didn't already spend nearly 3 fucking hours saying during my analysis of Yakuza 0. Were there characters I didn't cover in that much detail? Yes. Can I think of them right now? No. I had a panic attack earlier today. It wasn't great. I was reminded, I'll talk about it at the end of this video. I'm in a state currently. In order to feel better, I played number one game on this list, and we're gonna get to that at the end of all of these. It's in the weave. It's fine. It's all good. Next game, and I referenced the fact that games can make me have existential understandings of things. Tied back to Yakuza 0 though, because the other game that helped me feel good about reaching middle age, which is what the next game did, was Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon. Yakuza Like a Dragon. Yakuza 7 subtitle Like a Dragon. Because Ichiban and the protagonist of this next game helped me feel better about getting old and having setbacks in life, right? They both experience setbacks. One of them rises to fame and fortune. The other character might keep their job. If you know much about what I've said on this channel so far, or if you know a thing or two about midlife crises and losing your job, you might know the next game, it's Disco Elysium. That's right, bisexual disaster detective man, because his name itself is a spoiler. The entire game is essentially a spoiler. Skip this section if you don't want me to spoil Disco Elysium so I can go further into it. I love Disco Elysium. It won't leave my list, even if I never feel like playing it all that much. Because it's just like, man, I gotta play for four. Here's the thing, a lot of the ideals explored in the game are not things I'm unfamiliar with. I understand all of the politics in the game, all of the philosophy in the game. I don't experience the existential issues that a lot of other people have. I understood existential philosophy over 15 years ago. I remember when a friend texted me on Facebook that they're having an existential crisis. They're like 16 or whatever. Now, I don't know what age I was, but I was like, yeah, I stopped having those a while ago because he had never really confronted mortality and things like that. And I'm an existentialist in the I have confronted the abyss and I've told it no. I know that the abyss exists, right? I know that the world is pretty awful, but I believe in making things as good as I can. I don't believe in sitting down and pissing yourself over and over again, being like, oh, things are only bad, nothing I do matters. They eat death, the universe. Fenris is gonna eat the sun. Oh, no one wants to fuck me. Like, I've dealt with those motherfuckers before. I don't fucking get any of that shit. A lot of dudes I know have their entire value wrapped up in if they're gonna get fucked or not. Here's why I haven't sided with anybody listen, if you're listening to me, there's gonna be a lot of details you probably didn't want to hear about, but it's just like, you're gonna hear them. I haven't sided with anybody in a while. It's been like 7 years or whatever. Here's the thing, right? I I'm not dealing with. I have a lot of mental health issues. I don't want to offload that on somebody, and also, I don't like most people. Here's the thing: despite being a humanist, despite being an existential individual, I can't remember the exact term right now. I'm in a state right now. But if geography wasn't homophobic, I'd be I'd be doing it probably right now, like daily. I have so many online friends that are enjoy me in a sexual manner, and it's great. So like when I hear dudes that are like, I don't know, like 20 to 30, or so within the age bracket that I'm aging out of, and they're like, oh, I can't get laid, I'm fucking losing, and it's like, okay, so like let's review why you're a loser and then maybe find out either you're not a loser or you are a loser and you can stop doing that. And that's a great thing about Disco Elysium as well. It all ties back together because in Disco Elysium, you're kind of a fucking loser. You're an alcoholic with an ex-wife. You're one of the most divorced men in his. I don't even think you were fucking married. I think you were like engaged or some shit. You're maybe even just dating. You play as a guy whose birth name was Harrier DeWitt. DuBois. That's it. I'm getting my games mixed up. I'm getting my potentially racist men, white men mixed up. Though Booker DeWitt is only mostly white, I believe. Harrier Dubois is a detective who wakes up from a self annihilation because he can't handle reality. Also, he might be. What's the term in setting? A hummingbird? A swallow? He's not an innocence. If you know anything, if you don't know much about Disco Elysium lore, innocences are basically people that can see the future in fragments and then pull them back into the present time. And depending on how you interpret the lore, that could be the reason why there's giant gaps of existence in reality. It's a very dope. It's man, the world building's fantastic. I've stolen it for tabletop games I've ran. But going back to it, if you feel like you're a fucking loser, maybe analyze why you feel like are you fat? Like some people love fat people. Or like you could I mean, yeah, it's generally it's a depression and an economic issue of being fat. Like you can't just exercise your way out of fatdom basically. I mean, you can be fit and fat. A lot of the power lifters are chubby dudes, maybe women too. Most of the women I've seen that are powerlifters are generally like they're not built like a brick shit house per se. They're muscular, but they're not generally also like thick, right? The One of the leading causes of obesity in that is just poor diet, and poor diet is generally your diet's generally conforms around your level of expenditure. So if you're broke as shit, you're just eating whatever you can, whatever's cheap. And you know what's generally cheap? Like $5 pizzas that are loaded with calories, empty calories. Eat for $5 a day, basically. Uh it used to be that you could eat at McDonald's pretty cheaply, but then 5 years ago a plague hit and things are more expensive now. Hell, those $5 pizzas nowadays, those used to be even cheaper. Like you get them for not $5. You get them for like 2, 3, maybe $4 at most. Dude, you get like a pack of you could get like 10 of them for like $10 or like 5 of them 10 of them for $5 or something like that back in the Jack's Pizzas. Thin crusts, pretty good pizzas. Fantastic. And that's the thing, right? I'm poor as shit. I'm also fat as fuck. I plan on eventually losing weight, but I need, human money so I can just choose what I'm eating. I and yeah, that's the main thing, right? Nowadays, my limited financial resources means I'm mostly surviving off of ramen and potatoes. I'll have to check to see if I've been losing weight. Because ramen and potatoes, not exactly the most sufficient in foods to make you more fat. So I might have lost like 10 pounds or so. But it's also a thing of like, I don't like dealing with people, so I don't go out much. I walk around the house, I still walk like hours per day. That's how I think about things. But yeah, Disco Elysium is just if you want baby's first existential crisis, if you want to understand some things about the politics of reality, if you just love funny little games where you can get lost for 8 hours going on little tangents around town, it's fantastic. Sorry if the audio is a little bit scuffed and I won't be able to fix it. My nose is just really itchy right now, and I've been trying to itch it without fucking up the audio. We don't yet live in a world in which I can not have that be a problem. I guess I could just not talk for like 5 seconds and then itch. But it's an itch that doesn't go away. It's the weather. Yeah, so yeah, Disco Elysium, that's my little bit on it. Next game. Another game where it's just like, yeah, it's basically a perfect game, besides like some minor issues with it that I don't like. It's also a deeply tied to my old man sort of a game where I love the shit out of it. Also, I've had notes for all these things and I forgot to actually just read my notes. I'm briefly going to look over them and see about the next one's Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley, my old man got it for me about a month after it came out, so I've had it since basically launch, and it's been out since I want to say 2016. So next year, oh man, I might have to play it next year for the 10-year anniversary, or I'll just wait for the 11th year anniversary. Stardew Valley is a resource management farm sim sort of a game, and I love that sort of thing. Even before I got into Stardew Valley, which was really kicked me off on, like, I love that sort of, I love building up bases in games. I love character stuff, going around town talking to all the villagers. Like, half the villagers are romanceable. You can fuck the shit out of them. Penny is my go-to romance because she reminds me of me, a bookish nerd that had to live in a trailer with not great parentage. So in a way, it's sort of like a rescue romance, but I'm rescue romancing fucking a version of myself in an alternative universe, sort of a thing. Like it's fucking weird. It's weird to have to explain it that way, but that's basically the emotional pathfinding of that situation. I could go on about all the different villagers, about how the game is just so beautiful. The soundtrack is impeccable. There's a reason why there's symphonies. There's big bands playing these things. Orchestras, that's the word for it. There's very little that I don't like about the game besides some minor like when I play it, I don't necessarily need Stardew Valley expanded, but I do need some quality of life stuff. You do move pretty fucking slow in Stardew Valley. Like, let's be for real though, man. You move so slow when you first start, when you're not popping triple shot espressos, when you're not on your horse, when you don't give your horse carrot. I think yeah, when you give your horse carrots nowadays, he boosts their speed a little bit. Man, you get a pet cat or a dog, and now I think you can get like a frog or whatever. There's just so much stuff added to the game. Concerned Ape, he should be less concerned because his life's work is phenomenal and is already, I believe, in the history books for gaming. I want to say it's in a museum or two for gaming as well, sort of like Dwarf Fortress. It revitalized an entire genre, essentially. There are Stardew copycats that pale in comparison. I don't think there's a single one that's matched up to the sheer quality, the sheer beauty, the sheer simplicity. It's like Minecraft and how it's so essential. It's going on the channel. Basically all of these games are going on the channel. I don't think there's any of these games. Minecraft's the one that will take a bit because I need to make a profile just for recording. And then maybe any of the other, like Borderlands, that's one where it's like it shows your username and I'm like, I don't want to show my username from Steam. But yeah, Stardew Valley's just so and also I'll probably have my roommate, though my roommate and her fiance might be heading out of state, so we'd have to do it online, which is fine. I mean, it's already like we have to do it online anyway. We're not doing it split screen. And it's just I can't wait. I love video games, man. This channel is helping me get back into my love for video games like nothing else. I'm trying to make this not a super duper long one. I'm running out of steam. I'm in fact a steam powered individual. I'm not a giraffe though. Funnily enough, like not a steam powered giraffe, homeboy or homegirl, whatever homie type you are. Home skizzle. The next game, another 2010 game, as is the last game, is Red Dead Redemption 1. I love cowboy shit. I just do. It's a very orange and red game. I can't help it. You can do all sorts of stuff. You get into shootouts. It's like a revenge thing. You got to go and also deal with your former brothers in arms, and it's real sad, and you kill your adoptive dad. It's great. Listen, I'm sorry if I'm spoiling a 15-year-old game for you. Maybe play these fucking games. Listen, there's chapters. I'm sorry. There's chapters. Look ahead. You can spoil yourself for this video. I'm not telling you if you've paid attention to like any of my videos or if you've like followed along with orange-ish games, sort of sequels. Speaking of Red Dead Redemption 1, kind of a sequel to Red Dead Revolver, but not really. I want to say the events of Red Dead Revolver are legends in Red Dead Redemption 1. John Marston, despite his fuck ups, is a pretty good dad. He has, and that's another thing, right? Because everybody is an amalgamation of individuals that they've seen and looked up to their own lives. John Marston, to a degree, is somebody that I do look up to in a combination of his. I don't want to just say stoicism, right? Because the entire game he's basically got resting bitch existence because his family's been kidnapped. But he's still a good dude who still helps people. I mean, he does get involved in a Mexican revolution and does horrible things for both sides. But like, it's a Rockstar game analyzing America, and it's analyzing a part of America that's often romanticized. They're showing the tail end of the Wild West. In fact, Wild West is already dead. It doesn't have a beating heart anymore in Red Dead Redemption 1. It's just all of the leftover maggots writhing in its flesh. In the fucking cool ass cow skull art, this is when, before the lady paints it, and there's still maggots getting into the brain of this dead cow. Red Dead Redemption 2 is more of the death throes of the Wild West. I'll play both of them on the channel eventually. I'm also going to cover Undead Nightmare. Really pissed that there wasn't Undead Nightmare 2. And also the fact that GTA 5 didn't get any fucking DLCs either. All because of the fact that GTA Online did so well and Shark Cards sold like candy. John Marston and the gaggle of people that he finds throughout the way, be it Irish, the one dude with like 5 names or some shit, the white dude that sells people fake medicine. I can't remember his name right now. He's a cracker. Bonnie McFarlane, she's great. I love women that can shoot people to death. Uh Marshall Lee Johnson. Yeah. I played as him in Red Dead Online. Red Dead Redemption Online 1. One of my favorite onlines ever. I had 2 months logged in. I know that might not sound a lot to people that play WoW, but listen, I have nothing positive to say about WoW. I don't want to, I don't know, potentially scare off any people that love WoW by just being like, yeah, fuck it. But besides some people I've met online that were like decently cool for like reasons I shouldn't go into details because I don't want to listen. This isn't monetized, but like I eventually want to get monetized, and this might potentially. Listen. I have had no good experiences with WoW or in connection to people's involvement with WoW. It's not. I don't like it. No lifing that shit just seems like fucking work. But yeah, I would go on Red Dead Redemption Online for like 2 years or so, 3 years, probably 5 years. I would meet up and help people out. I would teach people how to play the game. I would just bullshit with them for hours. I met some people that became real life friends until one of them, I think he's a neo-Nazi now, which is fucking weird because he's black. I haven't talked to him in like 2-3 years, and then when I last checked on Facebook, he's got some statuses or whatever. It's not great. Just Red Dead Redemption 1. Yeehaw. Nothing gets forgiven. Gravity is a bitch. Up to my favorite game now. Final guesses if you didn't look ahead. That's right, it's Fallout New Vegas, a sequel-ish to Fallout 3. And boy, I just love the fuck out of it. It's never gonna leave. It's gonna be my favorite game forever. Every RPG, I compare it to Fallout New Vegas. The closer to Fallout New Vegas it is, in world presentation, in RPG mechanics, is just I like it when you have perks and have skills, and then the skills go up when you level up or whatever, and then from that you then can do speech checks. I love speech checks. I love it when you know ahead of time what speech thing you need to bypass. Well, I get it, right? Some people just want to go through a continuous thing and then fuck up and then experience not the full as much of the game as they can. I like being able to do most of the game or like finding alternative ways to do the game. I've said it before. The Bethesda engine games work best when they're essentially immersive sims, but like full ass RPG mechanics and stuff. Mind you, Fallout New Vegas is basically the only full ass RPG in the entire Bethesda like adjacent catalog, right? Because in the Elder Scrolls games, you don't really fucking roleplay in those all that much. And in Fallout 3, here's the thing, I'm not gonna badmouth Fallout 3 like some people do. It's my introduction to the Fallout series. But it doesn't have all that much depth to it in terms of like the RPG stuff. And just there's so much going on with New Vegas. Like I tracked its development. Fallout 3 was great, and I was like, oh man, another Fallout game like 2-3 years after the last one or whatever. Phenomenal. And then I looked into the how it got made stuff, like Van Buren. They took stuff from that, and it's just like I just love cowboy shit so fucking much. It's a revenge story. There's so many queer people in that game. It's beautiful. Speaking of, I think Dragon Age 2 was the first game that I played where it was like, yeah, you can play a non-straight person, and I was like, that's cool as shit, man. I enjoy homosexuality and other such things. They didn't have dating and stuff in New Vegas. But guess what? And this ties back to why I had a panic attack earlier, or an anxiety thing. I don't know. I felt awful. One of my favorite New Vegas modders were a couple. I guess you could still technically call them a couple. Does Death... We're... The husband of the two and I are mutuals on Blue Sky. And I followed them for years on YouTube. And I really wanted to eventually do a collab with them. Get them on the podcast eventually when I got around to starting a podcast, which I'm doing now. And she died almost 3 days ago now. And I've just been in a state ever since. I've just felt not great. Their mods for New Vegas are some of the most queer friendly ones directly relating to things, especially just sexuality in general. They allow you to couple up with your companions in ways that make sense. I mean, admittedly, here's the thing, I do feel like Cass is bisexual. You don't get drunk and say, "Oh, I guess I'll fuck a person of gender or sex that I don't normally fuck about with." It's like that's not. Listen, man, you listen. If it takes you getting drunk to eat some pussy, you probably want to eat pussy all along. You just the social aspects or whatever. I don't know, shame. She's potentially Christian or whatever. I don't know what it is. I think Cass would eat pussy. But anyway, so much of what they've done is just so phenomenal. They have a big ass project. I don't want to say names because I don't want if this video like pops off or whatever for any fucking weird reason. I don't want him getting hounded. He's not having a great go of things, and I let him know. If he needs to, I can talk to him. We never really talked one-on-one. We've left comments on each other's things sometimes. Yeah, like I said, I wanted to collab with the two of them. And the thing that got me wanting to play New Vegas tonight was that what really made me want to do it was besides seeing the video of her video will on his page again, was that I was going through my mods and I saw a mod that, and I think it's the only one where they had their own voices in it. It's her voice in it, and she goes into how the way that you have your game set up, the way it's modified, however you alter it, it's still your game. It is canon to you. Here's the thing about canon. I enjoy lore. I love finding lore, and that is put out almost exclusively by the property rights owners, right? The people that own the rights to properties, to series, and all that, and they get to decide what is and isn't canon. Here's the thing though. Sometimes retcons are bullshit. Sometimes bad writing happens. Sometimes games can't get made for a decade because the studio is fucking about or the producers are or whatever. Sometimes they're one and the same, so it's like it's that sort of situation. So to a degree it does make sense to say that canon is a fickle thing, right? I believe even Michael Kirkbride, one of the lead lore dudes of Morrowind, who made it as weird as it is. It would have been weirder if he had more of his way. He himself has said things like, yeah, canon is what you make of it. And because of her, the beauty of her, and what she said during that mod, I am going to endeavor to make my analysis video of New Vegas my New Vegas. My New Vegas is not vanilla New Vegas. It is vanilla adjacent for the most part. I don't generally put in things that don't make sense. Like, I wouldn't put in the My Little Pony mod stuff for that. I've seen stuff like that. The most lore unfriendly stuff are pop culture references I'll put in. Like, one of my favorites is Better Call Saul bus stop seats. Those are pretty great. Like, I believe they had those in the series. But my New Vegas has a half Deathclaw, half woman, half lesbian, all lesbian technically. But I like to say that she's 150% a person. Eve is no less canon to my Fallout than my wife's dead Boone. Mole Rat, my little buddy, who I believe is supposed to get his voice stuff finished eventually. I he's kind of canon, right? I love the little fucker. Some Guy 2000 mods are pretty canon. I love those for the most part when they're working. The other guy, I can't remember the name of right now. He quit modding. Some guy came back as a different name. I love New Vegas. I will never not love New Vegas more than basically everything. I love New Vegas more than I love most of my family members. Like, I'll go that. New Vegas was nearly a spiritual event for me. It helped shape good portions of who I am. The Followers of the Apocalypse in New Vegas, a humanitarian organization, helped form my ideology, right? Helped me understand things that other games didn't. Most media doesn't cover. The idea that regular people can work together to make the world a better place, right? That you don't need governments such as they are, right? The true purpose of what a governmental body should be. All of these things I learned from New Vegas in ways that my teachings didn't at school. And with that, it is time for the outro. Because, gosh darn it, I don't want this to be over an hour. And it's nearly an hour. It's gonna be over an hour. I got a bit of things to say. I already covered the thing about the queer peer creator fucking wife dying. I'm still torn up about that. And it reminded me of why we say with a heavy heart, though most people don't actually have the heavy heart going on. It is a feeling in your chest of just a pit of despair forming that is a gravitational pull inwards and downwards that just pure emotion in the most negative of senses. It is awful to feel that way. But I'm going to leave off with a bit of information for the future. The fact that once a year is up for the channel, in terms of like, I've covered 12 games, I'm going to do a ranking video. I decided to say that since like this is a top 10 video, I might as well do a top 12 games I played over the year of the channel. I feel like that's a great thing to do. As well, if you don't mind, please support me on the GoFundMe I have for investigating my dad's murder. As well, I have a Patreon if you want to do more sustained support. There's a $3 tier, which gets you your name in the end of the big videos. And maybe in the future I'll do it on the podcast too, but I'm still like working all this out. If you do $15 a month, I'll make a video for you every month. A 15-minute or so video for $15, right? It's dope, right? I'll talk into a mic for 15 minutes about basically any subject you want, besides things that would get me demonetized or removed from YouTube or like too personal. And I guess I'll just leave you with that. I hope that you have a great day. I hope that if you are grieving, in the process of grieving, that shit can take a long time. Months, years, it could be until you die that you'll be grieving something or someone. And I'll just have to say that I won't say it gets easier, right? It can always get harder. Life doesn't necessarily get better. But chances are there is somebody out there that can help make things less bad for you. If you don't have a great support network, I truly am sorry. I am too emotionally fried right now to show through my voice. Like my voice is monotone a lot too much, but it's just I'm just out of it, man. So I'll end it with this. Stay strong, stay safe, and remember that trans rights are human rights.